Mary Beth Schubauer, she's a PT, and she's a physical therapist here in Albuquerque. She's coordinator of the ABLE Sports Program and director of the Mutu Berry Jr. Wheelchair Sports Day Camp. And you're going to meet Mutu in the clip that we're going to do. That clip actually was a clip from Kiss My Wheels. It was a PBS documentary about a Zia Hotshots basketball team. And it was here in New Mexico, the junior wheelchair basketball team in 1999. There's also a camp which is free once a week for the program. Has a free once a week program for kids 7 to 18 years of age with physical disabilities that Mary Beth is involved in. The program provides experience in many different sports. She's also coached New Mexico athletes in the Junior National Wheelchair Sports Competition in 2004. She will be speaking about the summer camp experience. Scott Revels is a PT at Carrie Tingley. He holds certification from the National Athletic Trainers Association as well as the Strength and Coordination Association. Scott is passionate about developing a health and wellness program for the pediatric population with and without disabilities. He currently provides outpatient orthopedics and sports and physical medicine services to pediatric patients at Carrie Tingley, and he will be expanding further on the development and implementation of the post-rehab fitness program at Carrie Tingley. Can we start with the clip?
Well, I want you all to know that this is an IV, and I have a staph infection in my kidneys, both of my kidneys. And right now I have about 10% of each kidney that's functioning. So I've got the strongest medication going into me right now.
Is that like woohoo medication, or is
no,
that like, oh,
no,
okay,
they're planning to do a transplant. That's what they want to do, and I'm not really sure when and how it's gonna go. I'm hoping that it's not until next summer because I'd like to play with you guys this year and get recruited for college. It's my senior year, and I'll tell you guys right now, I'm really scared.
Sure, it's a scary proposition.
I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, all of us in the course of what we deal with face surgery after surgery after surgery. I mean, everybody's been there, right?
Tomorrow I go back into the hospital, July 13th, and I have my surgery on Friday, July 14th at 2 o'clock. And I have a friend who's getting worked up to see if she's going to be a donor.
I want Katie at half court and Sydney at half court. I want you here so you can get him a target, okay? Because coach is pressing him.
People ask me how can you play basketball in a wheelchair, or how can you ski? And it's I never know how to explain it, It's really hard to explain. I'm just break your legs and I'll show you.
People wheeling around and pieces of metal with rubber on them. And these are people of all proportions. Their hands have to catch the ball, shoot the ball, pass the ball, and not touch the other people when they're trying to shoot or anything like that, because that's a foul.
Yeah, baby, stay on it.
Microphones are better than corsages, though. Like Dr. Taylor said, I'm Mary Beth Schubauer. I'm a physical therapist. I worked at Carrie Tingley Hospital for 7.5 years, and for the past 7 years I've been with the Albuquerque Public Schools. And when I started my job with the public schools, some of my colleagues said, "Oh, you'll have your summers off. Now you can run that wheelchair sports camp that we've always wanted to do." In my summers off. That was supposed to be time off. But anyway, so we started this endeavor, I was realizing, about 10 years ago. We started doing a more organized wheelchair sports program. There it goes. And we decided when I was at Carrie Tingley that we wanted everyone to have access to activity and the ability to do stuff. And all of us, at one point or another in our lives, have either been a participant or an observer at some kind of sports program. And the benefits are enormous for anyone who participates in sports and who is regularly active. And so there's a number of different ways for people to be involved. But here in New Mexico, being sort of a rural state and having limited resources, there wasn't a whole lot going on even 10 years ago. And the wheelchair basketball team that you saw in that video really got things started in the mid-90s. And that's thanks to the coach that they had at that time, Judge Pat Murdoch, who thought that that was the important thing to be done, that he really needed to focus energy on doing that. And so the other part of it is that the kids that I work with are kids with primarily physical impairments. And those kids said to me and other therapists, you know what, we don't want to be doing Special Olympics all our lives, because Special Olympics is a different group of kids. And we want to be able to compete nationally. We want to be able to do more stuff. And so what can we do? And so we started looking into programs and trying to come up with a similar type of venue to high school sports. And this is the National Federation of High School Athletics Participation Survey from 2003-2004. And across the nation, there's almost 7 million high school students involved in sports. And of those who reported being involved in adaptive sports across the nation was 2,359. And that's on the high school level. And so by that point, and this is not that long ago, I mean, it's only 4 years ago, we should have more kids involved in high school sports who use adaptive equipment, who use other types of vehicles to get there. There's a huge national push to get sports going in kids with disabilities. And so there's an organization called Blaze Sports, which is really trying hard to get local groups to do the work to get more kids involved. And I primarily work in pediatrics. Almost my entire career I've worked in pediatrics. And so that's really my focus, is working with kids. The history of wheelchair sports. In 1948, the National Wheelchair Basketball Association was inaugurated. There wasn't a women's division until 1975. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association grew out of soldiers coming back from the war, basically, who wanted to be active and do things. And so primarily it was male veterans who were involved at that point. In 1983, the junior division championship became in effect. And typically the junior division is defined as the ages from 5 to 21. Basically up to 22 if you're still in school, because many of our students who are in special ed can go to school until they're 22 years old, till their 22nd birthday. So that's the age division that we're talking about. A similar organization, sort of a parallel organization, the National Wheelchair Athletic Association, started in 1956. And they modeled their program on the Olympic sports model. And this eventually became the Paralympics model. And in 1982, out of the National Wheelchair Athletic Association, the first wheelchair sports camp was held for kids. And that actually was held in Mission Viejo, California. And over the following 4 years, camps sprung out from that camp. And so kids in other states were able to start being active at an earlier age. The first areas that had the camps were Northern California, Colorado, Missouri, Michigan, and Utah. And so we are modeling our program here in New Mexico after this junior wheelchair sports model. Again, 5 to 18, 5 to 21 is the general age category. The majority of our participants have some sort of physical impairment. And there has to be some lower extremity permanent impairment for someone to participate, for instance, in wheelchair basketball. Spina bifida, cerebral palsy, amputations, spinal cord injuries. The other category that's used internationally is called les autres. Sorry about my French. And that's basically for people who don't fit into any other classification category. So it's the others. In New Mexico, our program started in, like I said, the mid-90s with the wheelchair basketball team. And we originally called our program the Sports, Recreation, and Dance Program. And that's a mouthful. But the proposal was made in 1997 by a former Paralympian who lived in New Mexico to the Carrie Tingley Hospital Foundation to help fund a program set up for children to participate in sports. Because one of the major barriers for participation in sports is financial ability. And families who have children with disabilities often run into financial barriers, whether it's being able to travel out of town because of the extra time and effort it takes, being able to get to practices, all those factors. And so we started this program with the foundation's support financially so that the families and the coaches could focus on the sports and not about trying to raise all the money that it takes to do these things. Again, the initial programs involved the basketball team, the Zia Hot Shots basketball team. And basically that program survived for as long as it did because they had a very strong coach. And then we did a Sports Saturday program. I'm moving. The funding came through the foundation. And within the last few years, we've been able to actually expand our programs. We now have a power wheelchair soccer team called the Zia Turbo Wheelers. We recently went to a tournament in Mesa, Arizona, where it was the first tournament that many of our teammates had participated in, and they took first place in their division. To see the looks on these kids' faces when they accomplish something so great, to never have been involved in competitive sports before and to go to a tournament and get a trophy was just amazing. We also have a recreational component, and our motto is no wimps allowed. We want our kids to grow up being confident and being strong and being able to do the things that their friends are doing, just in a different way. And so our summer camp program has gone from having only kids who use manual wheelchairs to now including kids with power wheelchairs. We are lowering our age limit. We started out with 8 to 18. Now we're slowly getting down into the younger ages, and this year we'll have a couple, maybe 5- and 6-year-olds at camp. We have mostly coaches and instructors with physical disabilities. We are able to now say that we have 3 graduates of our wheelchair basketball team who are in college on partial scholarship playing wheelchair basketball. We have a very successful power soccer team, and we have a great deal of other recreational activities as well. And we've been able to incorporate some partnerships with some of our community programs, like the Therapeutic Rec program in Albuquerque provides transportation for us. The real life impact is that we're broadening horizons and we're allowing kids to try things that they've never done before and experience both the successes and the failures. Because sometimes as a therapist, what I've seen with my patients is that they're protected a lot and we don't want them to fail. But that's a natural part of life, and being able to learn how to deal with that is a natural part of life. And learning that you can overcome failure and still be a successful person is a very important part of what we do. What do we want to be? We want to be a statewide access point. We want to provide outreach programs. We want to be able to develop other programs throughout the state of New Mexico and develop athletes into being able to participate and compete regionally and nationally. In the future, the dreams that I have for the ABLE program and the dreams that I share with some of my colleagues and some of the kids who have grown up to be now coaches within our program is having overnight camping experiences, outdoor recreational programs, recognition of our athletes within their high school athletic associations so that they can earn a varsity letter right along with their classmates. And eventually, hopefully, the development of some kind of New Mexico adaptive sports center. Contacts, if anybody needs this information, I can give it to you later. For all the programs, I'm probably the primary contact since I sort of coordinate everything at this point. And like I said, we have ongoing programs now, so it's much easier for kids to hop in and get involved in the middle. And I just want to thank you for your time.